Your salvation comes from you, which means nothing outside of you can really cause you any upset. So it says salvation seems to come from anywhere except from you. So if the guilt or the condemnation, you could say, is in your mind, the salvation is in your mind too. Doesn't require anybody outside you, not the priest, not the rabbi, not Jesus, not anybody or anything. Now, I'm not saying any of those things can't help you. Can other people and things, situations help you? Can a coach support you in finding the truth about yourself? Sure. But he can't do it for you. She can't do it for you. Can
Nope.
that course help you? Yes. The course is helping us, trying to get us there. But we do it. There's nothing outside of us that can save us, or to be saved really means to be set free from our pain and suffering, to be set free from the illusion of lack and loss and despair. That we have those illusions and that experience and that pain and suffering as a result of our own minds, how we think, how we perceive, how we interpret, what we believe, what we project. It's all coming from us, all of it. And there's no exception to this rule. None. There's nobody out there who has it worse than you or may seem to have it worse than you. And they are the one person that really, it has nothing to do with them. They're at the mercy of their experience or their surroundings. The Course doesn't leave any wiggle room for this stuff. This idea that it's all happening in our mind, and in our mind is where we heal it. So salvation seems to come from anywhere except from you. So too does the source of guilt. The source of guilt seems to come from anywhere but from you. You see neither guilt nor salvation as in your own mind and nowhere else. When you realize that all guilt is solely an invention of your mind, you also realize that guilt and salvation must be in the same place. In understanding this, you are saved. It's there as an invention of your mind. Nobody, nothing outside you, no behavior, no action you took, none of that caused the guilt. The guilt caused by some interpretation or judgment you came up with in your mind. All pain and suffering is guilt or based. So when you realize that all guilt is solely an invention of your mind, you also realize that guilt and salvation must be in the same place. If our minds create it, our minds can create something else. That's the idea. Or if our minds look at a certain thing one way, we can allow our minds to be shown the truth. That's a choice we have in every moment. So the seeming cost of accepting today's idea that my salvation comes from me is this. It means that nothing outside yourself can save you. Nothing outside yourself can give you peace. Not all those things I listed. None of those things. Not the money, not the guy, the girl, the car, the house, the job, your level that you reach in life. None of that's going to save you, and none of it can bring you peace. And so that's the seeming cost of accepting this idea. To the ego, it feels like we're screwed, or like none of that, we can't have any of that, right? So it's saying that's a seeming cost, but it also means that nothing outside yourself can hurt you. If nothing outside you can save you, well, nothing outside you can hurt you either, or disturb your peace or upset you in any way. It is the core of the Course. It's the hardest thing to get, because think about something that seems to hurt you, or something that happened with somebody, or some situation, or what scares you or what upsets you. It's like all that seems like you have no control over. It's happening to you. That feels very real. Like we all have that experience. There's nobody here in this room that escapes that experience. But the Course is saying it's not true. We've also had the experience of being really upset or angry or hurt or whatever, and a moment later having it completely dissipate because we changed our mind, we forgave, or we saw it a different way. Nothing changed but how we're seeing it or thinking about it. We've had that experience too. That's what the Course is all about. It's trying to give us the reality blast that it's happening in our mind, and we're the ones in charge of our mind. And it takes practice to rein in the horses. Just practice. By practicing the Course, you start to strengthen your ability to choose the thoughts in your own mind. The only thing any master on the planet mastered was that ability. That's it. They mastered the ability to choose the thoughts in their own mind. And from that ability, they chose their own emotional state and they chose the world that showed up around them. And so, or they choose, I should say, the seeming cost of accepting today's idea that my salvation comes from me is it means that nothing outside yourself can save you, nothing outside yourself can give you peace. But it also means that nothing outside yourself can hurt you or disturb your peace or upset you in any way. So, can things make you feel good? Yep. But that's not the same as happiness and peace. So, you can get pleasure from traveling all over the world. You can get pleasure from having wild sex with hot babes or hot guys. You can get pleasure from sticking a needle in your arm. You can get pleasure from eating food. You can get pleasure for all kinds of ways. But that isn't happiness, the Course says. The Course distinguishes between pleasure and true joy.